Okay, everyone, welcome once again to another Wednesday webinar from Greater Travelers Rest Chamber of Commerce. We're very excited today to have Dr. Mike Geran from Foothills Chiropractic, and hopefully I pronounced your last name correct. But we're very excited to have him today, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn over controls to him so he can get started for us today. Thank you very much, Dr. Mike.
Cool, thanks, Jenny. All right.
Turn my mic. Is there, if I can get my camera to turn off. There we go. Okay.
Cool. All right, you got me up?
Sure do.
All right, cool. Cool. Hey, y'all. I'm Dr. Mike from Foothills Chiropractic, and I'm super excited to be chatting with you today. I'm going to go over some business advice from people who are smarter than me. I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of people smarter than Dr. Mike, and you would be right in thinking that. But at least I guess I'm sage enough to take advice from people, and hopefully sage enough to do some of the things that I'm going to talk to you about. I'm not perfect at doing all this stuff, and I'll definitely tell you that a lot of these things, it's a work in progress. But I hope you will learn some good stuff. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen. All right, cool. So business advice from people smarter than me. Dr. Mike Geran, Foothills Chiropractic. So I've learned a lot from a lot of good people. There are some pretty wise people out there, and I'm going to share some of the tips that I've learned in the past 25 years of being a chiropractor, being in business. There's some good stuff out there. So let's jump in. So the first thing I want to share, and I'm going to share some resources along with the information I'm going to give you. Because I think you should check out some of these people that I've learned from. They've helped me tremendously. The first one is this quote: "You are not a seller of blank. You are a marketer. You are not a blank. You are a marketer and seller of blank." So the message to me was, I'm not a chiropractor. Being in business, I'm not a chiropractor. I am a marketer and seller of chiropractic. So if you are a dentist, you're not really a dentist. You are a marketer and seller of dentistry. And that goes for whatever business you're in. Like yes, you do the thing, but you're in the marketing and selling of the thing. That's what you've got to focus on. That's you've got to be good at. By all means, be good at your craft. I feel like I'm a pretty darn good chiropractor. But I know there's probably a lot of lousy chiropractors that have multi-million-dollar practices because they are very good at marketing and selling their thing. So you have to have a balance. You have to be good at what you do, but you have to be really, really good at marketing and selling it if you want to stay in business and keep doing it. So that's the first thing, is you have to begin to learn marketing and sales. It can be a dirty word in some professions, but it really is true. Like, it's what you got to get good at. So you got to go on a journey to learn some marketing and sales. And the guy that this quote is from is Dan Kennedy, one of the foremost business coaches in the past 30 or 40 years. He's written tons of books. I recommend every one of his books. I've read just about all of his books. Phenomenal information, very easy reads. His books you can read in a day or two. Like, it's really easy stuff. The website is nobsinnercircle.com. They have a monthly membership. It's like $59 a month. You get a newsletter, you get videos, you get all sorts of content. I'm not a member right now, but I've been a member in the past, off and on throughout the years. I highly recommend it. It's really good money you'll spend. So check out Dan Kennedy for sure. And you can just Google Dan Kennedy, go on Amazon, buy some of his books, buy all of his books. They're awesome. The next thing is get a clear vision. So, hold on, let me move this thing real quick because this is the next one. So get a clear vision. Know what your outcome is. Have it, and even have it written down. Be able to see it. Know what you want to achieve in business or in life. Have a vision. And it's okay to have a big vision. I think Tony Robbins calls them big. It may have been taught somebody else, but I think I've heard Tony Robbins say it. What is it? Big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, have a big vision for your business, for your future, and be able to like recite it immediately. Like, so have a vision, write it down. I've got to, and I revisit it all the time. You should revisit it too. I have a big vision for our office. I have a big vision for what we want to accomplish here at Foothills Chiropractic. So set the vision, and then the next step is almost counterintuitive. Don't dwell on the vision, because if you can set this big vision, but if you think about it all the time, you're going to be super stressed, because you're going to be like, oh crap, it's a month and I haven't even come any closer to this big vision I have. So you're going to almost cause yourself too much stress if you develop this vision and you constantly focus on it. So develop the vision, have it. You can revisit it from time to time, but don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. What you can do is honestly set daily goals and achieve those goals. So just make a list of 1, maybe 2 things, not 50 things, but like right in the morning or the night before, write down, all right, what are the 1 or 2 things I have to get done tomorrow? And then if you really want to get creative, visualize, see yourself meeting those goals, doing those things. And then when you do it, then you achieve those goals. Just do your thing every day. So if I have a goal to send out, I don't know, like I'm going to send out 5 emails today. That's not a huge goal. That's very manageable. It's very attainable. And when I do it and I check it off the list, it feels pretty darn good to get stuff checked off my list. But I don't have 50 things because I'm going to be stressed out because I've still got 49 things to do. So just pick the 1 or 2 things you need to get done that day and do it. And then celebrate when you've achieved that goal. Celebrate when you've done that thing you set out to do. And by doing it, by setting daily goals every single day and achieving those goals, you will build up so much positive momentum that in a matter of time, you will begin to get closer and closer and closer to that big vision you set without having to stress about it. So have a big vision, have a clear vision, crystal clear. And you could do this in every area of your life. This is not just business. This is, you should set personal goals. You should set relationship goals, goals with your children, goals with your family, recreation goals. You can set goals in every area of life. You can set a vision for every area of your life, and then just have 1 or 2 things you can do every day for each one of those things. So it's very simple and easy process when you break it down into its steps. Next thing, get a coach. I have a coach. I have a couple of coaches, and it was a big jump for me to make an investment and to pay somebody to give me advice. But it's the best thing I've ever done. Just that personal accountability. And in my profession, chiropractic, there's a bazillion coaches, and you don't have to have somebody in your profession to coach you. In fact, there's probably not a bad idea to go outside of your profession. I look outside of chiropractic all the time for my information. And the coach that I use him specifically because he doesn't really talk much chiropractic stuff. He talks more business mindset and marketing stuff. So getting a coach would be a very good idea. If you need any resources on that, I can help. But there's plenty of coaches and consultants out there. And the whole thing is, you have to have somebody that resonates with you, and that will hold you accountable. That's a big thing, is like having somebody face to face every week that you have to look at and say, I didn't get anything done this week. It's nice to have that accountability because they will definitely hold you accountable to that. So I encourage you to find a business coach. It would be an expense for sure, but I think it would be a very, very wise expense. And it will help you grow your business. I can pretty much guarantee it. Last thing is Pitter Patter, Let's Get Atter. This is it's one of my favorite shows. Is on Hulu. It's called Letterkenny. It's kind of childish. It's kind of adolescent. It's kind of stupid, but it's hilarious. So this is the main guy, Wayne, and his quote is when they're getting ready to do something, he's like, Pitter Patter, let's get at her. They're all Canadian, so it's hilarious. Actually, my cup actually says, This is Haley got this for me for Christmas. Pitter patter, let's get at her. So every cup of coffee, every sip of coffee is like pitter patter, let's get at her. And what that means is like just do it. Like just do the thing. That should be Nike's new phrase, is not just do it, just do something. Remember we talked about set your daily goals. Set your daily intention, and then just get to work. And trust me, I'm speaking to myself more than anything, more than anybody. Just taking action. I've been a great planner throughout the years. I am a great list maker. I can make lists about the lists that I need to make. I'm great at that. But I think here recently I've gotten better at actually taking action on things that are on my list. So it's good to have a plan. It's good to have a vision. It's good to have goals. But if you don't take action on it, then they're just dreams floating around in the ether. So pitter patter, let's get at her. Let's get to work. Next is Mastermind. Mastermind. You should be around other people that are striving for the things that you're striving for. This was a concept originally talked about by Napoleon Hill. If you studied his book Think and Grow Rich, or his actually, which I like even better, I think it's his 16 Success Principles. It's a big, huge. It was a big undertaking getting through it, but it was really good stuff. So Napoleon Hill has got great stuff that I would recommend too. But he talked about getting a mastermind, getting 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people together and just breaking down each other's businesses. It's something that I've wanted to do here for a long time, and I'm hoping we'll get something going here soon. I've been meaning to for a year now. But just getting together on a regular basis where we just talk about mindset, marketing, where are we getting stuck in our businesses? And you can have 2 or 3 or 4 other people that are in business help you figure out your business. And then you can help other people figure out their business. And in doing that, you're going to get more clarity on what you do. So it's almost like this beautiful cycle where you help others, they help you, you help yourself. It's just this thing. And every week you get together and meet and have a mastermind. You know, it's useful time. It's not just like gossip or chitter chatter. It's like serious stuff where you get together. So I highly recommend finding a mastermind group. You can form your own mastermind group. Just again, pitter patter, let's get at her. You're going to do a mastermind, then just do a mastermind and just get it together. If you want any tips or advice from me, I'll be happy to share some resources. This was a big one for me too when I opened up Foothills Chiropractic, is burn your ships. The old story about and there's several stories about this. The one I've listened to recently was about Cortez. I think it was Hernando Cortez that conquered the Aztecs in Mexico. You know, when he brought his crew from Cuba over there, it's a really cool story. I wish I had more time to share about it, but he basically like sabotaged his ships, and they found out about it, and he's like, well, we're burning our ships, we're staying here, we're either going to die or we're going to survive. We're going to die or we're going to conquer these people. So I think that has to be your mentality, is there should be no plan B. If you're going to go all in with your life and in your business, there's no plan B. You should push all your chips into the middle of the table. If you're going to bet on yourself, then push every single chip in. Don't hold any chips back. You got to just go all in. So burning your ships means don't look back. Just do it. And that doesn't mean burn your former relationships. It doesn't mean set fire to what's behind you so you're running away from a burning building. No, but you leave no means of escape. Go all in on your business. Burn your ships. This has I think this has become almost my theme for 2020. And this is actually one of my coaches, Sean Dill. This is his quote: "Scared money don't make money." So the reality is, you have to spend money. You have to take chances. I've spent a good amount of money this year, and it's paid off, and it's going to pay off even more in the coming months and years. But if you just have money that's sitting in the bank, I'm not saying be wasteful. I'm saying be very strategic in how you spend your money. But if you put money out with the right strategy, with the right intention, with the right goals, there's a good chance it's going to come back, and it's going to bring friends back with it. So it's been every time I've signed up for something else this year that's been an expense. It's just when considering something, scared money don't make money. That's just the reality. So don't feel like you have to hold on to all of your money. If you're in business, you have to put some money out. And if you do it well enough, it's going to come back, and it's going to bring some friends with it. And I know that's a tough thing, probably even with COVID going on, because we're all kind of like, we all went through this lockdown, and we had to figure some stuff out. And now we're coming up in the election, and what's going to happen? We're going to get locked down again or whatever. But I'm just telling you, like, now's the time to just push forward and spend some money, because as Sean Dill says, scared money don't make money. I'm sure you've probably heard the 80-20 rule. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. It's also known as the Pareto Principle. He was this Italian economist that came up with this. And it's been even further expounded upon to become the 80-20-20 rule. So they say that 20% of your income, or that of all your income, the most income comes from 20% of it, from 20% of your people. So if you have a list of people, list of customers, list of clients, list of patients, whatever, 20% are going to make you the most income. And then of that 20% of those people are really going to make you the most income. So the whole point is, find your best people and focus on developing deeper relationships with them. For instance, I'll use my business as an example. If I've got a family that's coming to me every single week, they're like the ideal person. They're doing fantastic. They've been coming to me for 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And then I've got somebody else who comes once every 4 years. Who would it make sense for me to try and develop a better relationship with, to maybe even develop a better referral relationship with? The family that comes all the time, or the guy that comes once every 5 years? Of course. So you have to find your best people, and you have to really be more intentional with those people and develop relationships with those people. The reality is too, like, your best people tend to be who you enjoy working with the most. The problem ones are the ones that you don't see very often. At least in my business, I love people that come to me every week. Like, I love taking care of them. Like, I have a blast in my office because I see the same people all the time, and we've almost developed like a family relationship. So focus on the people that are going to do your business the most good.
Dr. Mike, this is Jenny. I had a question for you, Dr. Mike, if I could.
Yes.
So with the Pareto Principle, if I understand, does it also mean that, like, the majority of your business comes from 20% of your customers? Is that kind of what they're saying? Is like,
that is what they're saying. They're saying the majority comes from, and even of those 20%, like there's another 20% of that 20%.
Okay.
that are really like your core base of customers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's really like 5% or 4% of like your 100% are really where your treasure is, where your fortune is.
So it's kind of like narrowing your focus down and understanding that you have to focus on the most relevant 20% or the most the top 20% of that to-do list, like really focusing there, so that's where 80% of your results are going to come from.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all even goes down to like, you should still communicate with everybody. Like I'll send my whole base of patients an email every once in a while, but you should really like you should do everything you can to focus on those people that are really your core business. So
Thank you.
yes, thank you. Thank you for the question. All right, so next is expectations and mindset. If you look at the poster behind me, it's this company called Iconic that does all sorts of way cool posters. But it says it's the little Monopoly guy, and it says mindset, thoughts become reality. And I see it every day. I pass by this room, or I'm in this office all the time. So think about your mindset. Think about your expectations. You remember when we talked about the vision and then talked about daily goals? Well, I think having positive expectations is huge. And I talk to my patients about this all day long. I actually got a massage this morning. By the way, it's this girl named Katie over at Russell Physical Therapy. She's the bomb. So if you need a massage, I highly recommend Katie. She did a great job. But even we talked, and when I talk with my patients, it's when you come into my office, I want your expectations to be that you're going to do fantastic. There's no reason to be like, oh man, I hope this works, or it's probably not going to get better because nothing else has helped. We have to shift that mindset, and that also goes to your business too. How many days have you had where you wake up and for whatever reason, and trust me, I've done it a lot, you're just in a rotten mood. Like it's just, for whatever reason, you just woke up, the old cliche, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And if that happened, how did your day go that day? Probably pretty rotten for the most part. Other days when you just kind of wake up and you're flowing, you're in the flow, things are, mentally, you're just kind of on point. How's your day go then? Does the phone ring more on those days than the other days? Heck yeah, it does. So mindset is huge. If you can even just take 10 minutes in the morning, 15, 20 minutes in the morning, just to get your mindset straight. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Reading the Bible and having prayer time is going to set your mindset for the day. Some people, journaling is a great thing. Sitting down and just writing your thoughts down. That's a great thing. Some other people have like inspirational books they like to read. But if you can set 10, 15 minutes to get your mindset right for the day, your business will be better that day. There's no question about it. And then if you do it every single day, week after week, month after month, 6 months of doing that, of having the right mindset going in, you're going to have a totally new business. I can promise you that. And that goes along with expectations too. Like you should expect good things. Like we were always taught, it's funny, when I worked at the office I worked at before I opened my own place, they were the assistants that worked at the front desk. They were taught when the phone rings, like their first thought when the phone rings is new patient. Like every time they were like, that was ingrained. Phone rings, everyone working at the front desk was, and their mindset was like new patient. So in your case, like whatever your business is, like when that, like let's take Mandy for example. Phone rings, somebody's selling a house, baby. Like that should be your mindset. Because it's very easy to almost be negative, and I went through a long time of this. Phone rings, oh crap, who do I owe money to? it can almost be our human nature, but change that nature. Just know, like, when that phone rings, like, it's money coming your way. It's clients coming your way. It's people you can help coming your way. Because that's really what we're all about. We're all about serving other people. So no matter what your business is, like if you are becoming more and more profitable, it's because you are expanding your service and you're helping more people. And who doesn't want to do that? We had a class here last night, and it's really been a big shift for me too. Is we had a class last night. We were teaching about neurodevelopmental disorders, autism, ADHD, different things. And my mindset coming into it was different than I've ever had before. When I got here, I told Haley when we got here last night, I'm like, hey, if one person shows up, cool. Like, then we're going to change one life tonight. We had more than one person show up, but just having that mindset of being 100% service minded, that should have been a different slide, but you should just think about service all the time. That should be your number one goal, is to serve people. And really, if you're of that mindset, really serve God by serving his people. Like, that's really what we're all in this for. So, expectations and mindset. Relax, calm down. That's a big thing too, is it's very easy to be so amped up all the time and worried and stressed and wondering where, what's going to happen next. Just chill. That can go in your mind, in your morning routine, like when you're getting your mindset right. Just relax. Breathe. Breathe with me. You just feel better when you take deep breaths. So there's a guy, his name is Mark Robert Waldman. He wrote a book on, he's kind of a neurobiologist kind of guy, really super smart guy, about a lot of brain research, different things. And one thing that he recommends is, it's like, set a timer. And I haven't done this very consistently, so I can't speak to its effectiveness, but set a timer, and every hour when it goes off, you just sit and just take like 5 to 7 deep breaths. Just close your eyes and just breathe. Every hour, just make it a habit of breathing. Just relax, calm down. It's huge. It's a great habit to get into. And if you can be more relaxed during the day, you can become more attractive. And a relaxed mind is more attractive to the world. So this is another, my mentor of mine, Sean Dill, makes sales offers proportionate to the amount of trust you've earned. What that means is, you may notice, because I've spoken to the chamber a couple times, if you've seen me speak, you've noticed that at the end of my talk, and I'll do the same thing here today, I'm not going to tell you to come and become a patient, because how much trust have I earned? I haven't earned that much trust, but I will have an offer. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you should come join the Foothills Chiropractic community on Facebook. It's a private Facebook group. We share tons of great content on mindset, health strategies, relaxation. It's a phenomenal group. So you should all join the Foothills Chiropractic community. So that's my sales offer. But it's not like, hey, haven't I done a great job? You should come become one of my patients. We just haven't had that level of trust yet. So, and it's amazing, like when you go to like chamber meetings and different things, like when I met like Jenny, like, hey Jenny, here's my card. Wouldn't you like to become a patient? Like, how creepy is that? Like, that's no. Like, there's a great book called, and I have a list of books. I didn't put this in my list, but it's called Book Yourself Solid. A lot of these principles are in Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port. I recommend that book highly. I'm not saying I've done a ton of the stuff that's in the book, but I'm trying to. Uh-oh, my internet connection's unstable. All right, hopefully we'll be all right. Jenny, let me know if something happens and you can't hear me.
Dr. Mike, be
So
on the
anyways,
lookout. Now that you're host, you may see Kathy Moore has been trying to get in, and it could be because you're host. So if you see it pop
shoot.
up, let me know. She's going to try again.
Oh, she's in.
Okay.
I got her.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Cool. All right, cool. Sorry about that, Kathy. This is my first time hosting Zoom. So anyways, so make sales offers proportionate to the amount of trust you've earned, which means don't just ask for somebody to do business with you right away. You have to develop some trust. You have to develop some credibility. And that's done through different things like meeting, having coffee with somebody. And if you do it though, like again, like I implore you, if say I meet Kathy for the first time, or like, hey, I'd love to get together and get together for coffee sometime. And so Kathy and I sit down and I spend 30 minutes pitching her on my business. How dumb would that be? Like really, like there's no, so really what you really should do is if you're gonna do a one-on-one with somebody, like my entire time with Kathy should be spent on one thing, me learning more about Kathy and her business and how can I help her business do better. Does that make sense? Like that's really what we, and then the cool thing is, well, let's meet again in a couple of weeks and have coffee again. And then maybe just developing relationships with people. Book Yourself Solid is a great resource talking about how to be a better networker with people. I can't recommend that enough. This is probably a little bit more on the edgy side, but if your service is excellent, then you have an ethical and moral obligation to sell the crap out of it. Like you should become excellent at selling what you have. If it's really good, then you have a moral obligation. Like if somebody comes in and I know I can help them, I have a moral obligation to do everything I can to get them to become a patient. Not because it's good for me, but because it's good for them. So if your service helps other people, you have to get good at selling, and you have to have no shame when you sell. No question. And that's been a tough one. Like that's a tough one for me to swallow sometime. When I was giving my presentation last night to the neurodevelopmental disorder audience, Haley noticed it. Like when it was time to like make the offer, like she's like, yeah, it was really good, but I tell you, like you started like looking down and you like lost eye contact when you went to go for the close. So you got to get good at it. That's all there is to it. Raise your prices. It's funny. When I had my massage this morning with Katie, and we were talking, I was asking like, all right, so what do you charge? Like, and she's like, well, I charge this, but I'm thinking of going up. Because I may go. I'm like, good, raise your fee. I'll pay you more. I would never, like a couple years ago, I'd have been like, oh man, dude, please don't raise your fees. I don't want to have to pay you more. Like, I don't want to pay any more. But the reality is, like, here at my office, we've been incrementally raising our prices for the past several years. I think you should do the same. And if I am one of your clients or customers, I will gladly pay you more for whatever your service is. But we should all be raising our prices, even in the midst of a pandemic. We should just continue to raise our prices. It's just how life is. And some people have no problem with it. I have had a problem with it for a long time, but I'm getting better. So we got a few more, and then I'll give you a couple of resources to check out. So this is kind of and I think this was a Bill Belichick, Tom Brady kind of football analogy when I first heard it. Systems don't get tired, players do. I don't really follow football anymore for a variety of reasons. But when I did, the question was always, were the New England Patriots that good because Tom Brady was such a great quarterback, or because their system in place was so flawless? I think it was because their system in place was so flawless. Yeah, Brady was a great quarterback, but like their system, they just interchanged parts and they still did well. They just brought other people in that were cheaper. So the reality is we need to do this in our business. And this is, if I have one major weakness, it's systems. I need to get better at my systems, because systems don't get tired, players do. So we have to have a system for every single aspect of our business. And a good exercise, which my coach told me to do and I haven't done yet, full transparency, full disclosure, he said, you should write down every single thing that you do. You should write down every single thing that you do in your business. For over a week. Whatever you do, you should have a running log of every single thing. And then you should have systems in place for all those things that you do. Because eventually you may hire, I hired Haley. So we should have Haley, there should be a system for everything Haley does. I may eventually hire another chiropractor to come work with me. We should have a system in place, how we do everything. So your business, no matter what it is, you need a system in place for every single procedure that you have done. It's just that simple. So those are a few things that I wanted to share. I hope you learned some good stuff. I'm going to give you a couple more resources that I really think you should check out. One was Book Yourself Solid. So I would certainly look up Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port. Fantastic book. Another one. This is like a home run. Little Money Bible by Stuart Wilde. I have read it at least a half dozen times. I'm going to read it again before the end of the year. It's a tiny book. 10 Laws of Abundance. It's such a great book. I can't recommend enough. I've got the audio version. I've got the physical version. I've got the Kindle version. I'm like a walking billboard for Stuart Wilde, but it's that good. It's really, really solid stuff. I'm sure I got everybody. All right. So Little Money Bible. It's a great book. Another favorite of mine, I wish I would have had the picture to put here. It's called Psychocybernetics by Dr. Matthew Maltz, written back, I think, in the 50s. He was a plastic surgeon that realized that when he would do many people, he would do plastic surgery on and make them beautiful. And they would look in the mirror and say, I don't look any different. I'm still ugly. And what he realized in doing this for years and years and years is that people really, as soon as they thought differently about themselves, as soon as their self-image changed, then they're like, holy cow, that surgery was fantastic. I'm beautiful. So Psychocybernetics is another phenomenal book. I cannot recommend it enough. It's such a great book about mindset, about just how you think about yourself, and then about developing a vision and a strategy for the future too. So I definitely think you should check out Psychocybernetics. There's the website right there. And actually the guy that runs the Psychocybernetics organization now, his name is Matt Fury. He's got some different coaching things that he does, and some different, there's all sorts of resources and different courses you can take in regards to Psychocybernetics. It is definitely worth your time. A little bit longer of a read than Little Money Bible, but I think you'll love it. I've read it numerous times. I think it's on my bookshelf somewhere here. So, and then lastly, this thing called Black Diamond Club. I've probably mentioned it in my other talks too. It is, it's the coaching group that I'm a part of. I'm kind of doing some private stuff with them, but it's a monthly membership. I think it's either $75 or $100 a month now. The content you're going to get is, I can't recommend it enough. So www.blackdiamondclub.com. It is run by Sean Dill and Lacey Book. They are chiropractors, but it is not a chiropractic group. It's probably 75% are chiropractors, but they don't talk chiropractic. They talk marketing, mindset, sales, and they do a fantastic job. And the beautiful thing is, and why I use them is they curate information from everywhere outside of the chiropractic profession. So they pull from all sorts of things. There was a guy on the other night. His name was Philip Stutz. They interviewed him. He's a big media buying guy, like data. He's a data miner. I tell you, if you just join and just watch that video, your business will change. Like the information that he dropped on the Black Diamond Club group was like legit, really, really good. They actually have a podcast too. It's called None of Your Business. Oh, hold on. All right, letting Kathy back in. There she is.
Yes, her server went down, she said.
Okay, that's all right. So they also have a podcast. It's called None of Your Business. I definitely recommend the podcast as well. They interview people, which is cool. They interview a lot of people that are outside of the chiropractic profession. Awesome stuff. So I cannot recommend Black Diamond Club enough. If you were to spend your money on one thing, I would say Black Diamond Club. That's just me. So lastly, you should definitely come join our Facebook group. It is the Foothills Chiropractic community. We are always trying to drop really good content in it. We're trying to get, and you don't have to be a patient. You may never become a patient, and that's okay. You're going to learn great stuff if you become part of our community group. So you can just, I think it's facebook.com/Foothills Chiropractic community. You can check that out. I don't have a slide for it, but